Hello and welcome to the Synthase Spring Showcase 2023, our very first one. I'm Nate May, the founder and director of Synthase, coming to you from California.
Hi, I'm Susie Lin, coming to you from North Carolina. Together we run Synthase, an online music school that specializes in music theory and creative music making.
Our students come to us independently and through our educational partners, who we're so lucky to have. Special shout outs to Christina Altamora of New Jersey, Opus 11 from here in California, Chris Ruczynski in Tennessee, and hugely Colorado Early Colleges out in Colorado. These are all amazing educators who have entrusted us with their students, and we're so excited to be able to show off the results of that collaboration. Hearing student works is pretty much the best part of our job, so we're really excited to be able to present to you today 15 student compositions, their expressions that they have created in the last few months in our lessons and classes.
It's a small selection of works students produced in private lessons in the class called Music Makers Lab. Students will give a brief presentation about the piece, then you will hear it. Also, we open our summer registration today. Stick around to learn more about those.
This spring, I had the pleasure of teaching 3 sections of a class called Music Makers Lab, where we take songs apart and put them back together, and then make originals, which you're going to hear today. Many people assume that when you're learning to create music, you start with the notes, you start with the small things, and you build up to the big things. But it can actually be really powerful for students to start with the big picture, start with songs themselves and parts of songs, and learn to layer them and remix them and loop them in different ways to create new creations. So that's what we did. We started with these samples, and then we learned how to get smaller and smaller until students could make their own recordings, they could make their own melodies, program their own drums, use their own effects. We used a software called Soundtrap, which is the digital audio workstation, and that's the most common type of software used by music and audio professionals around the world. These students went above and beyond, and they were not required to do anything beyond these layering of samples, and some of them did and did a terrific job with that, but many of them also recorded their own vocals, recorded their own instruments, made their own melodies and effects and drums, all kind of in part of this picture that they spent hours tweaking and nuancing. So it's really inspiring to hear. And they're not just learning artistic skills, they're also learning technical skills, which can be applied to other fields like video and animation. So I am very excited for you to hear the works of the students of Music Makers Lab. So enjoy.
MIDI Cable, I tried to encapsulate everything I like about piano into one mood, and so everything I like doing in piano, I like a lot of modulation and a lot of arpeggios, and so that was all improv, and I tried to add on to it with synths, and that was really challenging for me because I just didn't know how to add on to it, and I was afraid I would make it sound worse, but I got some inspiration from Simulation Theory by Muse, which is an album, and I think I did pretty well. And I'm most proud about the modulations. I've been learning how to modulate a lot more recently.
My piece is called Collaboration L. I didn't really come up with a better name than that, but it's supposed to, the goal of it was to be like super happy, to make people feel happy when they listen to it. And it was supposed to be a collaboration, but that didn't really work out, so I just decided to display my own part. It's supposed to tell the story of me when I'm happy, so I hope that when you listen to it, you can imagine how I am when I'm happy.
The music you're about to hear is something that was basically just a fun project for me at the time, but it grew to be a big project in time. And I'm not one of those people that listens to like rock music and stuff, but watching movies and seeing battles, all that stuff, inspired me to make something like this. Yeah. Oh no.
Hi, my name is Sophia Brekenfeld, and this is my song, My Love. I created this on the 25th of April, as you can see, and I finished it the next day. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my song before you hear it. In terms of style, I honestly did not have a specific one in mind. Usually what I do when I make songs is I just listen to the tracks or the loops and find a one that I like, add it in, and then find tracks that would also match the original one that I chose, and then just work from there. I think the thing that I'm most proud of would probably have to be some of the custom elements that I added, or the custom instruments, I guess you could say, like right here. And this is for like custom guitar, and then I add some strings at the very end as well. Most challenging was probably trying to edit this build up, I guess you could say, and trying to find elements that would really tie together without being too much. But I think I figured it out pretty well, and everything worked out in the end. And in the process, I did learn how to play with different effects, especially with my custom tracks as well. And I'd say that's about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my song.
Hi, my name is Rory, and for my music, I really like adding pop and beats and something that will make it sound better and help other people feel better when they listen to it. I'm very proud of the last beat that I added because it really just brought the whole song together. The most challenging part of the song was trying to add it all together and make it sound so much better, just so that it could feel better and just kind of vibe with the music a little bit. I learned that you can't just start adding music to hopefully make it sound better. You need to know what you're making in order for it to sound good. Thank you. Enjoy listening.
Hi, my name is Angela Bucceri. I made the piece Lost in My Mind. When I was making this, I mainly focused on being lost in my mind. There's good things and there's bad things in my mind, and there's good and bad in anybody's. There's the voices that say, oh, you're doing great, you can do it when you look in the mirror, and then there's days you look in the mirror and you're like, you can't do it, you're not gonna make it. The same thing with other people. People can talk good about you and people can put you down, and there's times where that can become really overwhelming. There's moments where you can have trouble breathing, and all you can feel and hear is your heartbeat getting fast and overwhelming you, and you get stuck in this place. And I try to picture this place in your mind that's just full of chaos. It's just a lot of pain and a lot of confusion and just stress. And sometimes you get stuck in that moment. Time just stops. And all you can do is really fight it until you get out. And I wanted to paint that picture and paint this canvas with the sounds and the voices, the sentences, and everything I have in the background in my song. And I just really wanted to interpret and translate how I felt and how other people may feel into my music. And that was my goal for this song.
Song that you're about to hear is just kind of a nice little relaxing thing I wanted to record. I made it with my acoustic guitar and some synth pads, that kind of stuff. I like the way it turned out. I think it's pretty good. Nothing was super challenging, just kind of a short little, vibey thing. But yeah, that's it. Hope you like it.
Hi, my name is Izzy, and my piece is called Clockwork. I'd say that my inspiration for this was the approaching end of the school year and realization that the clock was ticking. I also recently went to the UK and saw Big Ben, so I suppose it could have been a combination of things. I'm happy with the use of clock-like sounds and the consistent melodies throughout. I'd say that the hardest part was entering the MIDI keyboard notes in tempo. This was a great assignment for creative scope as it allowed me to incorporate all of the resources and techniques I learned from Synthase, but also experiment with my own ideas.
It's such a pleasure working with students on a one-on-one basis. I am so proud to see how far they have come over the course of the past few months. From Nate's side, he had Connor, Anna, Gaspar, and Christopher. Anna and Christopher used Soundtrap, while Connor used Ableton and Gaspar wrote a piano piece. All of them have such distinct personalities that really come through in their music and have shown so much growth over the past few months. From my side, I had Sophia and Mason. Sophia was working on music theory, and she just took the AP music theory exam yesterday. The piano piece she wrote is based on a 4-part harmonic progression. Then she added a bunch of non-harmonic tones to it and make it longer, then took the progression to a completely different level. Mason is my composition student. Over the course of the semester, we worked on a lot of different things, but this piece is modeled after the jazz big band from the 30s. It's such a privilege working with the two of them, and now let's enjoy all of their music.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and my piece, Song in G Minor, was for an assignment I had in my music theory course. It was partially inspired by a lot of the songs I was learning on the piano during the time, such as a lot of Beethoven sonatas, and also jazz pieces from Aaron Copland and George Gershwin. I hope you enjoy it.
Hello. I created a nice jazzy piece. That was my goal. I was very proud of my trombone part, which I played in a temporarily a hand in a cast. I find that the most challenging, but I also found it very fun. As I put my time and dedication to it, it paid off very much, and that's where I learned a lot about it.
Hi, I'm Anna. For the past 3 weeks, I've been working on a project in Soundtrap to showcase called Soundtrap Fair. Though it was a challenging experience, I learned important things in Soundtrap too. For example, I learned how to use fills as transitions and how you can stretch out a region instead of copy and pasting it again and again. This is what the end result sounds like.
Hi, I'm Gaspar Avanesyan. I made a piece called Chocolate Cake for Breakfast. I chose to make this style of song because I make scary songs, so this time I decided to be creative. I am proud that I put the piece into notes. I am also proud because I wrote a piece. It is amazing. The part that was most challenging was when I messed with the different types of notes. When I picked a different type of note, more or less rests came. I learned the notes to read and play someone's piece. This was so fun. I hope you went through a similar process. Bye!
Hi, I'm Connor. My main inspirations for this beat were like Freddie Dredd and 3 6 Mafia, of course, because it's the sample. I made it over the course of like 3 months, and yeah, most of my decisions were just because like sounded cool. Yeah.
Hey, my name is Mason Valentine, and I'm 17, and I live in Tennessee. And I've been studying music theory and composition with my teacher, Miss Susie. And we wanted to create a track in the style of swing, and so we were studying the history of that and whatnot. And so I created a small track, and then she asked me, why don't you create a melodica solo to go over that? And she would record the melodica and send it to me, and I'd layer it over the track. So it was a really fun project to do. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
This wraps it up for student pieces. Congratulations to all of our amazing students for their very hard work and their wonderful creations.
Thanks so much, Susie. We're so proud of our students and the awesome pieces that they've made. We also have another exciting announcement today. Registration for our summer classes is now open. This is an opportunity for existing students to take the next step, or for anyone who is watching this and got a little bit of FOMO to make some pieces and learn with us this summer. We have 2 sessions, one starting in June and one starting in July. Registration closes a week before the beginning of each of those sessions. Our classes are Composition Lab, Tracks and Field, Music Makers Lab, again, which you just heard, Music Major Bridge, and an active music theory class. We also teach private lessons in composition and theory. We're going to tell you more about those classes now.
This summer, we offer a special composition lab. It's called Tracks and Field, that focuses on using field recordings in our music makings. Field recordings are any sound recordings made outside of a studio. It could be in your house, in your backyard, in the woods, in a junkyard. There are just so many interesting sounds everywhere. In this course, we will sharpen our ears and discover all the special sounds in our everyday life, and we will make music out of them. The next course I want to talk about is Music Major Bridge. This course aims to prepare incoming undergraduate music majors by familiarizing them with basic music theory concepts and terms beyond their main instrument, so they can successfully pass their entrance exam, if there are any, and excel in their freshman year. Last but not least, we also offer private composition lessons. During private lessons, we focus on students' individual music journeys, and we aim to nurture and expose students to the unlimited possibilities of creativity. And we provide students with a variety of tools to help them better express their musical thoughts. I also want to say that both Nate and I, we're experienced composers, and we work very closely with each other. Signing up with one of us doesn't mean you won't be able to get feedback from the another one. You can always drop into our office hours and get a second opinion.
Active music theory is our approach to theory that emphasizes the music itself and not just how it appears on the page. We start by listening and understanding melodies and rhythms and harmonies, and we progress into understanding the symbols that represent them. This allows students to create, it allows students to learn from songs that they hear, and it allows students to progress toward a wide variety of goals in a wide variety of musical styles. We're really excited this summer to offer the first 2 levels of active music theory, 1A and 1B. Music Makers Lab is the class that you heard the works from earlier. It's a class where we dissect songs and put them back together, and we create originals. There's this sort of alternation that happens between learning from existing music and making your own music. And we get in a rhythm of that, and that really just helps students improve toward artistic goals while learning production techniques and audio software and lots of technical skills along the way too. We also have private tutoring for theory and musicianship. This is great for students who happen to be preparing for some kind of exam, but it's also the best way to learn theory and musicianship. It's working directly with a teacher who specializes in this. And we have our own materials, we have our own approaches that we've honed with lots of students who we've worked with, and we would love to work with you to help you reach your goals of being able to be fluent with music a lot better, understand what's going on, and create music on your own. Okay, let's quickly talk registration. To register for a CEC class, talk to Mr. Whetstone. Otherwise, see the link in our description to register with us. If you are a student of one of our beloved Synthase partner teachers, you may be eligible for a discount, so let us know who your teacher is, and we can send you the link that has the discount code preloaded. Thanks so much for watching. Keep making music and stay in touch.